I think it's something to be taken gently. I mean, there's lots, written these days about the benefits of cold water swimming and, how it can be great for your mental health. And I absolutely believe it is. It isn't for everyone, and everyone's system is built differently. And I think to try it gently and with the right kind of advice, that's the only way to start.
Hello, I'm Louise Minchin, and I am at Kendal Mountain Festival, which this year has mountain weather. I'm joined by a fabulous guest, DJ Nemone Metaxas, who is also, she's a fabulous DJ, she's a psychotherapist.
Yes.
And she's a wild swimmer.
I think I might call myself that now, psychotherapist. I may actually, Louise.
What do you think?
Yeah.
But you're very serious. You help people. That's what you do as a psychotherapist.
It's interesting. I think you're alongside people on their journey to understanding their way of being in the world a bit more, and that is a huge privilege.
Do you know what? That just made me feel better, you just saying that. Which is, a privilege but an amazing thing to do. So we're here talking about lots of different things, but let's start, because it is all about adventure here, with your wild swimming. How did you get into that and into the enjoyment of the outside?
I've always swum, actually, from very little. I love being in water. I am a little fish, and I've never been happier than when I'm swimming. So I think I was always attracted to being in water. And then as I think post having the kids, actually, before the pandemic, I was gently trying lake swimming. I live in West London. There's not a lot of water near us.
Immediately
doesn't
say
scream.
lakes.
And you would not necessarily jump in the Thames in that area at all. So you're not attracted to the rivers around there. So a friend found a lake that we could swim in and said, well, let's try swimming outdoors. And I was really sceptical about whether I'd like it, whether I'm a bit averse to mud, so I'm not the best.
You might say cold,
swimmer.
but it's mud.
No, cold I don't mind. I mean, but mud, it's like my kryptonite, because when I'm running, my running friends are like, she's not going to be able to run over that. I mean, I honestly, it sends me a bit squirrely. So
mud squishing between your toes.
Yeah, so actually, yeah, when I'm in the deepest, darkest winter, when I'm wearing boots, that's fine. But I went to the lake near us and loved it. It couldn't have been. It was like a bit of a Damascene moment. I was like, why have I not been doing this sooner? And I felt the benefits almost immediately. I think it was a period when I was probably perimenopausal and a bit hot at night, and a bit kind of enervé during the day, and I credit swimming outdoors with definitely lessening some of those symptoms and helping me feel better.
And there's lots more science emerging all the time, isn't there?
Yeah, a huge amount of
science. So how often do you dip in the lake, swim in the lake?
So I try to go 2 or 3 times a week, 2 generally if I can make it. And if I've not been for a little while, I really feel the pull to being out and swimming. And there's nothing better than kind of, doing a swim stroke and then coming up to breathe and just seeing the sky. It's amazing.
What would you say to people who are nervous about swimming outdoors?
I think there's a lot of, quite honestly, that's how I felt. It's sort of, why would you do it? And is it okay? And is it safe? There are plenty of places where there are people who can help you and talk you through what you should be doing. In fact, the community are so friendly. I think everybody is happy to talk you through what gear they've got and how to do it. I mean, certainly I would talk to someone before you start, depending on the time of year. I'd always start in summer.
Yes,
I think it's not something to head into in the middle of winter, because you outdoor swim as well, don't you?
I do,
so,
and
a
couple of things I'd say. First of all, what you said about the community. I've done lots of different things, including running, triathlon.
And loads for the book as well that you didn't even think you were going to try.
Yeah, swimming under ice in Finland, free diving. I've done lots of different things, and lots of that is in my book, Fearless Adventures with Extraordinary Women. And I particularly am interested in women's journeys into adventure, actually.
Yeah.
But the thing about all those different communities, I mean, the running community can be like that. I think particularly the mountain, outdoor running community can be very, very welcoming. But particularly my favourite things are swims, because you can be any shape, size, whatever it is, and the swimming community will embrace you. And you can't judge people by how they look in swimming as well. So there's so much about it, and you can wear wetsuits, you can wear not wetsuits, you can
have
do
a woolly
whatever you
hat
like.
on.
Yeah,
You can
I mean, my
have
favourite kind of swimming is with a woolly hat.
woolly
on.
hat and like neoprene socks.
Yeah.
And a swimsuit, obviously.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
And it's great.
And the other thing I would say, absolutely what you said about if people are thinking about getting into it, this is not, swimming can be dangerous, so go somewhere where I go, I live in near Chester, and I go to a lake where there is set swim sessions, so you need to, safety first, always swim with a friend.
Yeah, absolutely swim with someone, or and let people know where you are and where you're swimming. But I think it's something to be taken gently. I mean, there's lots, written these days about the benefits of cold water swimming and, how it can be great for your mental health. And I absolutely believe it is. It isn't for everyone, and everyone's system is built differently. And I think to try it gently and with the right kind of advice, that's the only way to start. And then to work up to it slowly. I mean, I haven't had the same run-in this year as I normally would to my cold water
because
swimming.
we were both doing the same half marathon. We both did the Royal Parks half marathon, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. So I was focusing on my running, and then it just so happens I don't feel like I've been cold enough, quick enough to come here. So I probably won't go in the water this year, which is going to be really difficult. But I know system-wise, I'm probably not ready for it. So
wow,
I
that's
think
so interesting. So I'm going to go in because you are basically running the session.
Well,
so
I am going to be talking about breathing, what the environment's like for our mental health, and just connecting with nature, which I think in many environments we live in these days, it's so noisy, get distracted, get disconnected from nature and from ourselves, and just finding a bit more space means we can reconnect with ourselves, reconnect with others. And huge benefits for our mental health.
Lots of swimmers, it's all about when you get out, actually, specifically with cold water.
Yeah.
So what do you wear, and snacks as well?
I'm solely hot chocolating after any swim, and I think something quick that's easy to digest that actually you can eat. So it could be anything from chocolate bar or biscuits straight afterwards to then I'm eating. I think it's also going to have to be, I mean, for me, it's probably something egg-based a couple of hours later.
Is it? Okay.
I also think probably fueling before you go is a good idea as well. So, but with enough time for that to be digested. So I'm all about trying to make sure that my body can take the thing that I'm about to do and has enough fuel to do that.
And will you, now you've done the run, now you've done that half marathon, will you be going back into the water
I'm
again?
absolutely headed straight back into the water. I've started slowly, so there's an outdoor pool near me. It's a Lido at Richmond Pool, which is lovely. And so I really try not to swim indoors anymore. I just don't enjoy it. And I love nothing more than in the summer we were on the west coast of France, the Atlantic coast, and I was surfing and swimming there. So I'm headed back into the water in the wildest way possible whenever I can.
You know what? It's really interesting talking to you because I completely agree about swimming indoors. I swim indoors less and less, and actually I'm going to try and be more Nemone and do more throughout this winter as well. Because I mean, just look at it. Swimming outside is just one of the most immersive, incredible things that I do, and I do love it, and I need to kind of just embrace that, do more.
Well, I work with the body with my clients. I'm a sort of relational body psychotherapist, or at least paying attention to the body. And swimming is one of those ways of getting back in touch with our body. Because lots of people have disconnected for all sorts of reasons. A really protective part of our own system is actually, that's too much, I'm not going to feel that. But to gently kind of get back in touch with your body is partly what we're also speaking to with these events, because that can allow more emotional kind of repertoire for ourselves, a deeper connection with other people, and then a wider community. And that's why I'm DJing tonight, because I fully intend to help people get well into their bodies by seriously getting down, Louise. I mean, I have just developed 3 events of my 3 favourite things to do.
Absolutely
Play music,
genius.
dance and swim.
Genius. It is such a pleasure. Thank you so much for talking to us, and I will see you at least 2 of the 3, probably, maybe 3.
It's a date on the dance
I will
floor.
be in the cold water.
If not in the water. It's lovely to meet you, Louise. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.